Hey everybody, this is Maddie with Altcoin Buzz. Hope you're doing well and that your week is off to a terrific start. We're taking a look at two articles today. We're taking a look at the CIA and the true identity of Mr. Satoshi Nakamoto. But we're beginning here on altcoinbuzz.io with this article by Garrett. There is news in the world of cloud mining, cloud contract mining. Unfortunately, it's not the news that we would all like to hear, but here it is. Not FUD, guys, but this is just what's going on in the world. We're going to report on it. Is Hashflare cloud mining about to pull an exit scam? So in this article by Garrett, we talk about what's happening recently with the Estonian company Hashflare. At the moment, users of Hashflare's cloud mining services are worried that the company may be preparing to pull an exit scam. This is because the daily payouts are now below the maintenance fee, so users are not making any returns on their investments anymore. Now, guys, full disclosure, I've mentioned it in the past. I am a cloud miner, and in fact, I do have a Hashflare account. So this is not about reporting FUD, but it's about assessing the situation that's currently ongoing. And I'm talking about this as somebody that's a user of their service, that's a paying customer. So this is all due to the fact that recently you've had this increase in difficulty. The difficulty of Bitcoin mining jumped up a pretty whopping 14%. And Bitcoin has been rising very steadily in terms of its difficulty for months now. If you're not familiar with difficulty, it's just the mathematical complexity that goes into solving the next node, the next block in the chain, right? This is what rewards people with Bitcoins, their ability to solve the crypto analytics of the underlying technology. And that's what requires so much processing power. That's what requires so much electricity, right? And this has to increase over time because more and more people are getting involved in crypto mining. And therefore the total cumulative sum of hash power out there in the world, computing power, is getting greater and greater and greater. Therefore, the difficulty has to rise to keep things balanced out. Now, it's a little bit surprising to see that it's jumped up this much, actually, 14%, despite the fact that the prices have fallen and then have remained kind of stagnant. I mean, we're still below 7K per Bitcoin. So a 14% jump definitely hurt the cloud mining community, and it definitely hurt Hashflare's profits as well. So for those unfamiliar, Garrett describes cloud mining is a service usually provided in the form of contracts where users will pay an initial amount for a certain amount of hashing power for a predetermined amount of time. The purchased hashing power will be performed by machines at the mining company's mining facility and paid out to the customer daily. Some cloud mining companies pay out monthly. So Hashflare has paid out every day, and for those users that have been on the service like myself, you'll notice that really the payouts in Bitcoin have been decreasing pretty consistently. And every time there has been a major spike in terms of difficulty, then you really notice that your payouts suffer even more. So this is a combination of three factors. It's a combination of the difficulty going up, that hurts the payouts, the price of Bitcoin in the market going down, that hurts the payouts, and the third one is just the maintenance costs and the fees and the electricity fees. That's a little bit more stable. But Hashflare has generally charged a pretty high maintenance fee to begin with. So that's where it affects the other two variables more than it would on some of the other platforms like Genesis Mining, for example. I've been reading your comments about that. Genesis seems to also be suffering, of course, in terms of its profitability, but its maintenance fees are lower to begin with. So a maintenance fee or other fee is usually included when purchasing cloud mining contracts. This allows the contract to be mutually beneficial for both the mining operation and the customer. Cloud mining firms often host their mining equipment in areas with little to no electricity costs to make selling contracts more profitable. We talked about this just the other day, guys, in Missoula County. It's happening where I am in my province of Quebec. There's all kinds of appealing hydroelectric possibilities as far as procuring your power that way. So it's cheaper, it's more abundant. That's why Iceland is such a popular cloud mining, or I should say crypto mining destination, right? So a lot of their industrial facilities are set up there. However, this maintenance fee now exceeds the payouts for Bitcoin mining contract holders. So all BTC credited to users' accounts are instantly removed to pay for the maintenance fee. However, and as Garrett pointed out, I got to give Hashflare a little bit of credit. I don't think this is a scam because they've been pretty transparent and the terms of service have always been there from the beginning. So we're going to get into that in a second. So this is what they've said recently. Today, some Hashflare users might have noticed that the payout was lower than the maintenance fee, which resulted in the balance not increasing and remaining the same. Taking the current market situation into account, with the latest spike of mining difficulty exceeding 14%, while the price of Bitcoin continues to decline, the possibility of this situation repeating in the nearest future is highly likely. So they are communicating. It's not like they've barricaded themselves and have isolated themselves from the community. Quote, "Rest assured, we are considering all possible options while taking into account the available resources to optimize the mining process where it is possible," wrote Hashflare Cloud Solutions on their Facebook page. Here's the thing, guys, though. It's spelled out very clearly in their terms of service that if the contracts are not profitable for a certain amount of time, so that is if the maintenance fees and electricity fees in conjunction with the Bitcoin difficulty are such that the total fees on their end exceed the profitability for a certain period of time, there is a clause that we've all agreed to as users that are going to affect the cancellation of these contracts. So under 5, this is under terms of service, so section 5.5. The mining process continues until said mining is profitable. This means the mining process will stop if the maintenance and electricity fees become larger than the payout. If mining remains unprofitable for 21 consecutive days, the service is permanently terminated. During the consecutive 21-day period, payouts and fees will temporarily be stopped. That's where we are today. Payouts have been stopped because of the high maintenance fee. If during the suspension period, the contract-related mining factors, such as exchange rate and difficulty, that are outside of Hashflare's control will change favorably, making mining profitable again, the service will be unsuspended and contracts reactivated. So looking ahead, guys, I mean, we would need to either have a decrease, which has happened before in the difficulty of Bitcoin, but I don't know how likely that is. More and more people seem to be getting into the game, and we've had just months and months of consecutive increases. We have to have either that or a very sharp rise in the price of Bitcoin for things to turn around. Either that or perhaps Hashflare is going to tweak their service. Maybe they'd allow us to use that hash power and refocus it on something else other than Bitcoin. I know a couple of you guys have commented on this article. That's what you suggested. That would be a good idea. At the very least, we would hope that they reduce this minimum withdrawal, because some people that have put in, recently a few hundred or even $1,000 or more dollars into the service may not have accumulated 0.03 Bitcoin yet, and that's currently what they've set their minimum withdrawal to. So at the very least, if this is the case and they shut down those contracts, we got to make sure, we got to hold them to task and make sure that they allow for full withdrawal of any funds that have been accumulated, however small they may be. So if you guys are affected, and again, reminder, I am affected by this, do be sure to leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts. We've had some great comments so far on this article. So give Garrett your perspective. Let us know what you think about this. For reference, we're going to, of course, leave these up. You can check out Bitcoin Wisdom for more information about difficulty, as well as historical charts on the issue. Let's hope for the best, guys. But, that's the situation. We got to cover the news as it is. In this other piece on altcoinbuzz.io by Christopher, CIA on the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto can neither confirm nor deny. So the search for Satoshi Nakamoto intensifies after news about a CIA statement started to circulate on the internet. So of course there's been all kinds of talk really since 10 years ago about the true identity of Satoshi Nakamoto. Nobody's quite sure. And recently you have this post on Motherboard says, quote, "The CIA can neither confirm nor deny. It has documents on Satoshi Nakamoto." So just a classic statement that's really a non-statement that just gets people speculating and gets people hypothesizing. Those are the fun ones sometimes, right? Because it allows you to really use your imagination. So you have this group, the CIA Project, which is dedicated to uncovering the government's secret projects and making them public. So they released a video claiming that Bitcoin is actually created by the U.S. National Security Service, the National Security Agency, the NSA. The video, quote, "CIA Project Bitcoin, is Bitcoin a CIA or NSA project?" claims that there is a lot of evidence that proves that the NSA actually created Bitcoin. One piece of evidence that the CIA project claims to be one of the most important is the fact that the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto means Central Intelligence in Japanese. I never knew that. Oh, pretty interesting. So there's been all kinds of research done over the years. There's been all kinds of different suggestions, and some people have made the case for one individual being Satoshi Nakamoto versus another, and there's all kinds of candidates that have been in the running. You've had Ross Ulbricht, you've had Nick Szabo to be Satoshi Nakamoto. Those have been sort of the best guesses in the past. And in 2016, the Australian computer scientist claimed to be Satoshi Nakamoto and declared to have proof of it. And still, many people in the crypto community believe that Wright, so referring to Craig Wright here, claimed to be false. Even if we don't figure out who Satoshi really is, it's safe to say that he or she is the inventor of one of the most disruptive technologies currently out there. So different sources also suggest that if the original Satoshi still holds all of the 980,000 Bitcoins that were once in their possession, that would be worth over $7.2 billion. And you can read further, guys. There's all kinds of fan bases out there in the world that are looking to erect statues in honor of Satoshi Nakamoto in Kiev, Ukraine. And they, quote, engage in the construction of monuments to the great man for everyone, which is a new symbol of freedom. So obviously a lot of fans and a lot of supporters out there. You can read more about this particular CIA statement here, which they say they can neither confirm nor deny. It has documents on Satoshi Nakamoto. I think it would be fair to assume that they've been tracking him over the years and they've been tracking this space. And this is a bit of an older video, but pretty interesting one by the CIA project. So CIA project Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin a CIA or NSA project? And you have here, Bitcoin conspiracy theory alleges virtual currency is NSA or CIA project. Well, you never know. The face behind Bitcoin, you can read about this in Newsweek magazine. And this is an article, take note of the date. So this is from November of 2017 when the price was obviously quite a bit higher. But Bitcoin soars to new high. Mysterious creator Satoshi, now at that time worth over $7 billion. Just imagine that. And finally, soon the first monument to Satoshi Nakamoto will be erected in Ukraine on the site of the monument to Lenin. So talking about his fan base, talking about people that want to immortalize him in the form of a statue. Pretty interesting. So guys, that's it for today. Again, not FUD, just the news that we're covering, just the news that's out there in the world. And if you want to keep up to date with the latest news, do be sure to follow Altcoin Buzz News on Twitter. And check out our recent podcast. We featured DataDash. So James, Licia, and I had a long-form discussion with Nicholas Merton, aka DataDash. And that really ran the gamut. We covered all kinds of interesting topics, and it was really wide-ranging in terms of just the tangents that we went on and kind of ultimately related everything back to crypto, but we had a phenomenal discussion. So check that out if you're a fan of podcasts. I think that was a special one. And guys, of course, the latest news is going to be found here. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because you're going to get the latest and the greatest that way. We have new content that comes out every day. I wish everybody out there in the Altcoin Buzz Army a happy week, happy investing. We'll see you again soon. Take care.